Hello, everybody. I'm here with Stephanie Gutnik, who is the Global Head of Digital Out of Home for Yahoo. Stephanie, welcome.
Thanks, Adrian.
Now, Stephanie is our go-to chairman for most of our AdTech events. You've done, I think, all of them around the world, maybe not Singapore, maybe not Sydney, but they're recent ones, but you've done everything else. Toronto, you did twice in the last 12 months. You've done New York. You'll be doing New York next week. You've done Miami. We've got LA coming up. We'll talk about what you're going to do at New York next week for us. But first of all, there's some other things that are happening next week in New York. Do you want to just explain what you're up to?
New York Digital Signage Week is one of my favorites. It happens in October, which is my favorite month of the year for everybody who cares. And for out of home, it's such an exciting time because everybody really just gets together, and it's not just an American thing. It's people flying in from all over the world to look at what we've done over the past year in New York. So on Monday, I am on the board of the Digital Signage Federation. We are hosting Cocktails and Controversy at the Sony office in Manhattan. So you can find me there 5 to 7 p.m. And then Tuesday is the DPAA Summit. My colleague, the head of retail media at Yahoo, Jeremy Gold, is going to be on stage speaking with Marriott and Uber about retail media and digital out of home. And then Wednesday morning is AdTECH Out of Home. And the lineup, I just think every year, can we, do more than what we've done the previous year? And the answer is yes. And it just, it's something that the industry can be so proud of, because when we look for speakers, the lineups are becoming more heavily on the demand side. So we're bringing in buyers who have run out of home as part of omni-channel campaigns, and they're there to talk about, quite frankly, what worked well, what frustrations or hesitations they have about the medium. And what I love about these AdTech Out of Home events is the fact that they are so intimate. And when I talk to people who are about to attend for the first time, and I was just on a prep call yesterday with some speakers, I give them the history of this event. And it started 7 odd years ago with, a dozen people in the room, Adrian, in London. And
you did 2016.
Trying to make sense of what programmatic means for the space. And it has evolved into a very interactive event that's usually kept to under 100 people, so that every time a speaker does get up on stage, people in the audience who are usually, VP and C level, and they have the power, they're in the position to really make change when they get back to the office. They're asking questions about what action items should I be taking away? And, then the audience will get involved and talk to each other. And it's just, I always feel so fulfilled at the end of these events.
Yeah. Good. Well, you do a great job chairing them for us, of course. And I think that most people realize that, you started to move the market in the right direction with the demand side people in the room. So hats off for doing that. Because you're right, the events are very intimate and exclusive. We had, I think when you did Toronto earlier in the year, we had 200 people in the room post-COVID. I think that's people just really wanted to get out and do things, but that was quite amazing. And in Sydney, you weren't involved this year, but we had 160 people in the room in Sydney. So the desire to get together and talk is good, I think, for us. Barry, the president and CEO of the DPAA, with the Global Summit on Tuesday, that's the big event of the week, which I know everybody enjoys going to. I think pre-COVID, he was getting close to 1,000. He had 900 or something people. Last year, they managed to get 400 or 500. All indications it's going to be big again this year. Apart from the Yahoo presentation, what's stand out for you? And don't say Barry's dancing, because it's good, but it's not stand out. What's the standout thing from that sort of
Barry
conference?
does a phenomenal job at this event and all the other DPAA events that we're present at in bringing in top executives from different companies that can be spending a lot in out of home to really speak not just about the medium, but the marketplace in general. So the level of thought leadership from the DPAA is just top quality, and I thank him for that.
Good. I think we all need to thank Barry for that. It's top quality. I think this year we've got Adidas, Fresh Direct, I think that's a brand. Claire's Accessories is what I know.
Claire's, the 90s is for sure back, because in the 90s I was at Claire's all the time.
Okay.
And it's where I got my ears pierced.
There good.
And then at AdTECH Out of Home, we have, very similar lineup. Actually, we're kicking the day off with a friend of mine, Brian Breaker. He's the president and editor-in-chief of Brooklyn Magazine, so very local. He's a pro when it comes to the ad tech space. He was the editor of AdAge before, and he's going to be speaking with an EVP at Publicis and a VP of Out of Home at the same agency. And then the day's just going to continue. Anna Bagger, who's the president and CEO of the OAAA, she has a panel about the path forward, how we're going to shift share and next year. And that's a C-level panel as well. Andy Sriubis, my old colleague from Outfront, Ryan Law from OMG, and Barry Couples, the global CEO at Talon. Continuing with that, we're going to have Debbie Dretz on stage from Novus Canada. She's the president there. We have a Domni in conversation with Terrence McLaughlin, who's at Pepsi. And then there's also going to be Danielle Rind, the VP of Digital Solutions at Talon, having a measurement conversation with Foursquare. And I save maybe my favorite, though I'm not biased, for last, but
I know what you're going to say. Has it got to do with women in tech?
It does.
Yay.
At AdTECH Out of Home in Toronto, Kira, the CMO of Hivestack, she led a conversation with, it turned out to be just by chance, an all-female panel from Publicis. And I got on stage afterwards and we just started having this conversation about women in the workplace, and everybody in the audience was equally as invested in this conversation. So I reached out to Irina Zeltzer, who's just this phenomenal being in our space. And I said, would you mind moderating a panel about this topic? And she jumped right in, and she's just going to do a wonderful job. And it's three women.
Great way to end the conference.
Yeah, absolutely. It's three women who have really done well and navigated their way through the world of ad tech. So I'm really looking forward to this conversation.
Brilliant. Okay, so you've got 3 full busy days: Monday evening, all day Tuesday, and then Wednesday morning. Have you got time for yourself in New York, or are you going to head back to Canada?
I used to live there, so I always fit in, a few of my favorite spots to grab a bite while I'm in town.
Good. Chocolate or cake, I guess.
You know me.
I do. Good. Stephanie, I look forward to seeing you Monday at the Digital Signage Federation cocktails, because I always used to be coffee, cocktails and controversy, Monday night, Sony Square. We'll see you then.
Thanks so much.